Welcome to the episode. Today we're unpacking something that many entrepreneurs, healthcare professionals, and importers in South Africa hear about but don't always fully understand. That is the SAHPRA certificate. So let's start with the basics. What is an SAHPRA certificate? An SAHPRA certificate is an official authorization issued by the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority. It is formal proof that a health-related product, facility, or regulated activity complies with South Africa's legal framework under the Medicines and Related Substances Act. In simple terms, it is government approval confirming that a medicine, medical device, or health product is safe, effective, and manufactured or handled according to strict quality standards. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly does SAHPRA regulate? SAHPRA regulates a wide range of products that can affect human health. These include prescription medicines, over-the-counter medicines, vaccines, complementary medicines such as herbal remedies, medical devices like blood pressure monitors and surgical gloves, in vitro diagnostic devices such as laboratory test kits, and radiation-emitting devices like X-ray machines. If a product makes a medical claim or has a physiological effect on the human body, there is a strong chance it falls under SAHPRA's authority. Let's talk about the different types of SAHPRA certificates. There are different categories depending on what a business does. One major category is product registration. For example, if a pharmaceutical company develops a new painkiller tablet and wants to sell it in South Africa, that specific medicine must be registered with SAHPRA. The company must submit clinical data, safety studies, manufacturing information, and proof of quality. Once approved, the product receives a registration number and can legally be sold in South Africa. Another important category is the establishment license. Who needs an establishment license? Any business that manufactures, imports, exports, or distributes regulated health products. For instance, if a company imports insulin into South Africa, it must hold an SAHPRA importer license. A warehouse storing and distributing surgical masks or medical devices to hospitals requires an SAHPRA distribution license. A factory manufacturing cough syrup must have an SAHPRA manufacturing license and comply with good manufacturing practice standards. Medical device suppliers are not excluded either. If you are supplying hospital beds, ECG machines, glucose meters, or diagnostic kits, you must comply with SAHPRA requirements. Even smaller businesses selling regulated wellness products may require authorization, depending on how those products are classified. Healthcare professionals also interact with SAHPRA in certain roles. For example, a pharmacist appointed as the responsible pharmacist for a pharmaceutical wholesale operation must be registered and linked to that licensed establishment. Without proper certification and compliance, the business cannot legally operate. So, how do you actually get an SAHPRA certificate? The first step is classification. You must determine whether your product is a medicine, complementary medicine, medical device, or another regulated category. This step is critical because each category has its own documentation and compliance requirements. Next comes the application process. For an establishment license, you will need company registration documents, director information, proof of physical premises, floor plans, security measures, quality management systems, and standard operating procedures. For product registration, you must submit ingredient specifications, stability testing results, clinical data where required, labeling information, and manufacturing site details. Once submitted, SAHPRA conducts a technical review. In many cases, especially for manufacturing and distribution licenses, inspections are conducted. Inspectors evaluate storage conditions, record-keeping systems, temperature controls, and overall quality assurance processes to ensure compliance with good manufacturing practice or good distribution standards. So what happens if you operate without SAHPRA approval? The consequences can be serious. Products may be seized, businesses may face heavy fines, and directors may face legal action. For example, importing unregistered medication without approval can result in confiscation at customs and potential criminal charges. So why is an SAHPRA certificate so important? Because it protects public health. It ensures that medicines, medical devices, and related products meet strict safety, quality, and efficacy standards before reaching consumers. Whether you are manufacturing a vaccine, importing medical equipment, distributing surgical supplies, or launching a complementary herbal product, SAHPRA approval is often the key regulatory requirement before entering the South African market. If you are in the health product space, understanding SAHPRA is not optional, it is essential. And that wraps up today's episode. Please subscribe and share so this can get to the relevant eyes to grow their businesses.